Let's talk about Donald Trump's first few months as president, or as I like to call it, the greatest political reality show America never asked for. If you thought The Apprentice was wild, nothing compared to watching Trump stumble through the first 100 days like a billionaire toddler handed the nuclear codes. From the very start, Trump's presidency was chaos. His inauguration speech wasn't a unifying message. It was basically a dark and angry rant about American carnage. Instead of hope and vision, he painted the country like a dystopian wasteland, as if Mad Max was filmed in downtown Washington. And of course, we can't forget the very first controversy of his presidency: crowd sizes. That's right, Trump was so fragile, so insecure, that his team spent days fighting over how many people showed up to his swearing-in. Forget jobs, healthcare, or foreign policy. The real priority was making sure his inauguration crowd looked bigger than Obama's. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. And then came the travel ban, also known as the Muslim ban. Within days of taking office, Trump signed an executive order slamming the door shut on citizens from several Muslim-majority countries. Airports turned into war zones overnight. Families were separated, green card holders were handcuffed, and chaos spread across the globe. It wasn't about national security. It was about feeding red meat to his base, showing he could flex power fast, even if it was cruel and unconstitutional. Federal judges struck it down, but Trump doubled down, calling the judiciary so-called judges. Think about that. A sitting president openly mocking the independence of the courts. That wasn't strength. It was desperation. Meanwhile, his White House was a revolving door. Michael Flynn lasted, 3 weeks as national security advisor before resigning over lying about his ties to Russia? Imagine being the first president in history to fire someone faster than people get voted off Survivor. Trump promised he'd hire the best people, but his cabinet looked like a casting call for villains in a bad corporate crime drama. Billionaires, climate change deniers, unqualified loyalists. Basically, people whose only qualifications were kissing Trump's ring. And let's not forget healthcare. Remember when Trump swore he'd repeal and replace Obamacare with something so much better? His first big push in Congress was to scrap the Affordable Care Act, and he failed miserably. Even with a Republican-controlled House and Senate, he couldn't get it done. Why? Because he had no plan. Zero. Nothing. He spent years shouting, "Repeal Obamacare," but never actually came up with a serious alternative. It was like a kid bragging he's going to build the best treehouse ever, then showing up with 2 sticks and a hammer. Then came the tweets. Oh, the tweets. Instead of acting like a president, Trump acted like a late-night internet troll. He spent his mornings rage tweeting about fake news, insulting world leaders, and whining about Saturday Night Live. Imagine having the most powerful office in the world, and your biggest concern is Alec Baldwin's impression of you. Pathetic doesn't even begin to cover it. Speaking of fake news, Trump's war on the media started immediately. He called journalists the enemy of the people. That's dictator talk. That's language straight out of the authoritarian playbook. Instead of answering tough questions, he dismissed everything as lies unless it praised him. And his supporters ate it up. They didn't want facts. They wanted a strongman who could insult reporters on live TV. But here's the problem. A democracy without a free press is no democracy at all. Trump wasn't defending America. He was defending his ego. Foreign policy? Don't even get me started. Trump cozied up to dictators while insulting allies. He praised Vladimir Putin, a man accused of silencing opponents, while trashing NATO, the alliance that kept the world stable for decades. He refused to shake Angela Merkel's hand in front of cameras, like a sulking teenager. And let's not forget the first major international embarrassment, inviting Russia's foreign minister into the Oval Office and blabbing classified intelligence. That wasn't just a mistake, it was reckless. Economically, Trump bragged about stock markets rising and jobs coming back. But let's be real, he inherited an economy that was already recovering under Obama. Claiming credit for that was like showing up late to a group project and demanding all the praise. What new ideas did he bring? Tax cuts for billionaires, deregulation for corporations, the same old Republican playbook wrapped in gold letters. Then came the scandals. Endless scandals. From nepotism, putting his daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared Kushner in senior White House roles, to conflicts of interest with his businesses. He refused to release his tax returns, breaking decades of presidential tradition. Why? What was he hiding? His supporters said, "Oh, he's just smart for not paying taxes." No, he was hiding something. Presidents are supposed to serve the people, not line their own pockets. And let's not forget his bizarre obsession with Obama. It's like Trump couldn't go a week without blaming the last guy for his failures. The man was president, but he still acted like he was running against Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama at the same time. Every speech, every tweet, it was always about proving he was better. But here's the thing, if you're really better, you don't need to keep reminding people. The results speak for themselves. Trump's results? Chaos, division, and humiliation on the global stage. What's most ironic is that Trump promised to drain the swamp. Instead, he filled it. He replaced career public servants with lobbyists, cronies, and family members. The swamp didn't drain, it overflowed. And ordinary Americans? They got nothing but empty promises, culture wars, and a president more concerned about cable news ratings than their health care bills. Now, here's where the debate comes in. Trump supporters will say, but he was shaking up the system. He wasn't a politician. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't a politician. And it showed. Running a country isn't like running a family business. You can't fire Congress. You can't sue your way out of a pandemic. You can't run America like a brand, slapping your name on it and calling it a success. Leadership requires humility, patience, and wisdom. Trump had none of those. He had ego, anger, and a Twitter account. The first few months of his presidency set the tone for everything that followed. Division, lies, chaos, and scandals. Some people loved it. They thought it was refreshing, bold, different. Others saw it for what it was, the most embarrassing opening act in modern political history. The truth is, Trump's early days weren't about making America great again. They were about making Trump feel great about himself. And if you think that's leadership, then maybe you've confused a reality TV star with a president. So here's my challenge to you. Was Trump's chaotic first few months proof that he was a political outsider shaking up Washington? Or was it the biggest train wreck in presidential history? Debate it in the comments, because this conversation is far from over.